Hi, my name is Dr. Heather Brown, and I'm the director of the Women's Center here at St. Cloud State University. So the Women's Center here at St. Cloud State University is actually a very holistic and comprehensive center that provides not only immediate support for for example, our gender violence advocacy services, which is where if you have been assaulted or if you have a stalker online or you're having some serious problems living with someone who might be of danger to you, you can come to us and we can talk with you about your options and help you file any paperwork you might need to file, such as a leasing relinquishment agreement, so that you can get out of a lease if, like I said, you're living with someone who might be dangerous, to filing a harassment restraining order, or even just talking with you about different decisions that you can make, about whether or not you want to pursue legal options with the police or a civil case or work through our Title IX office here. We can help you make those decisions and then help you go and take those steps. We also do some fun things. We do a lot of different events here in the Women's Center, everything from having women athletes here on campus talk about what they've learned as leaders on campus and sharing that with the campus, to people who are starting really unique social justice-based businesses, to things about reproductive health care and abortion access. The other important thing to know is that you can stop by our office and get any number of supplies or resources that you need to go about your day in a healthy and comfortable fashion. We have a variety of menstrual supply products, including menstrual cups and different sized tampons and sanitary napkins. We also have condoms. We have dental dams, lube, Plan B, and emergency contraceptive and pregnancy tests if you want to know. And we can also refer you to a variety of places as you think about your options for parenting or even abortion access. We actually do a lot of work where we connect with the community and do things in joint with them, and many of our on-campus events are co-sponsored with various groups here in the greater St. Cloud community. But we also really focus here with our students on helping them network, helping them learn new leadership skills, helping them develop and practice what they're learning in a safe place where they can make mistakes and receive guidance and support if something happens. And we really encourage people to come in and talk with us about what they're interested in, because chances are we can do something about it. We've had students come in who've wanted to do protests in the community, and we can talk with them about, okay, so how do you go about planning one? How do you organize? How do you reach out? How do you use social media? How do you think about protecting yourself if you're going to be doing something that's controversial or that may generate pushback from others around you? So we do a lot of work around that to really help people understand what it means to be a feminist leader in the world, and to apply feminist principles even in non-feminist environments. So how do you incorporate a sense of justice and fairness and equity in the work that you do so that you can be focused on creating a world that is better for everybody, by virtue of having come and work here with us in the Women's Center and learned and practiced those skills. We actually have a ton of success stories. But I think the one that is most recent that I'm super proud about is Kara Cowell, who is a graduating senior this year. We're going to miss her so much when she leaves. But she, since she got here, has been very active in period justice and really promoting access to free menstrual supplies in educational environments, both K-12 and college. And she was really instrumental in leading a lot of the advocacy efforts here through the Women's Center, to go and lobby the legislature to pass period equity laws. And as of this year, as of this fall, all public universities and colleges, as well as K-12 institutions, have to provide free menstrual products in all bathrooms on campuses. And honestly, without Kara and the work that she did and some of the skills that she learned here, that would still probably be a couple of years down the line. So we're super stoked about her work, and we know she's going to continue it on. She's going on to the University of Minnesota and a Master's of Public Health, and that's totally cool because the world could use more like her. Not only diverse backgrounds, but for us, women are women. Trans women are welcome here, and we'd love to have trans women come in and talk with us, and so we can learn from them and they can learn from us. But I think one of the most important things that people should know is that all of our work here is pretty much confidential, and when it comes to our gender violence services, it is actually privileged confidential. And what that means is that you can come and talk to one of the advocates here in the office, and it doesn't matter who wants to know if you came in or what you wanted to talk about. We cannot and will not share that information unless you give us written permission to do so. We cannot even be subpoenaed by a judge or in the court system to come and provide testimony about whatever services you may or may not have received in our office. We can't even acknowledge that you've actually come in. So we take confidentiality and safety very seriously here, and we will actually even push back against people on campus who might want to know some of this information. We will not provide it unless you have given us written permission to do so. And we are very dedicated just overall to being open and curious and understanding life from an intersectional perspective, and knowing that the experiences of a Black woman from Africa are going to be different than a white woman from the Midwest, and infusing that work into everything we do. Of course, we're always learning and we do make mistakes, but we always try to make sure that any event that we do always is led by the people who are most affected by the information that we'll be sharing. So we always make sure we reach out and bring people in. And we also open doors for people and hold the door so that they can go out and make a difference as well. We don't need to be in charge of everything, but we can use our power and our privilege to remove barriers and smooth the way for other people who may have been kept out of opportunity because of their race, their socioeconomic status, or any other intersectional aspects of their identity. Well, for us, there isn't any difference. If those are their experiences, you are welcome to come. We are happy to have you, and it's really important to note that our services are actually open to everyone, and we even have quite a few male-identified people that come in particular to get safer sex supplies, which we have seen a huge increase in the number of male-identifying people coming in since our Ejaculate Responsibly campaign a couple weeks ago that we did to offer a rhetorical alternative to the 40 Days of Life, which is a national pro-life event. We said, hey, you know what, if we really want to prevent abortions, rather than focusing on women's bodies or people who have uteruses who can give birth, let's focus on people who cause pregnancy and people who produce sperm. And so we had a lot of fun with that campaign, and we saw a lot of people like taking pictures with the poster and kind of giggling. That made our day, but then more people are coming in, which is really, really cool. But we also form a lot of partnerships with the other identity centers here on campus, and we work very, very closely with the LGBT Resource Center. And in fact, this week we're hosting a joint event for the Trans Day of Visibility, and we're having a panel about trans resilience and joy, which I think is a really important topic to talk about, because so many times we always think about the challenging stories and the barriers that people face. But, you know, there's a lot of joy and there's a lot of strength and a lot of wisdom out there too. And so we're really planning on celebrating that this week, and hopefully we can keep it up in the future. We are a very non-hierarchical group. We all have different areas of expertise and we work together. And that plays out also in what we do and where we're going. And in terms of our sort of long-term planning, is that we gather a lot of different information from a lot of different voices and then figure out where the commonalities are and then use that to sort of guide our process going forward. That being said, we definitely are going to continue with our gender violence resource services. And we're actually hoping to expand some of that out. One of the things this office administers is the sexual violence prevention training that all brand new students in higher education here in Minnesota have to take. But you know, it's kind of boring, and who wants to do that? And you know, you take a little course online and you press the buttons and you go through it. But we want it to be more interesting and maybe more useful for people. So we're going to try to do some programming around those online modules to sort of expand it and make it really a good resource for people's daily lives. The other thing that I know for sure that we're going to be doing is based actually in my area of expertise, and my research is on, the connections between weight and learning in girls and women in higher education environments. And this year I am a scholar of teaching and learning. and I've been designing a project to see if I can develop a co-curricular support group that will provide the sense of belonging and support that women living in larger bodies need in order to feel successful in the college environment. So hopefully over the summer I will finalize everything, and I really would like to get it launched in the fall to see if we can get some support work going around to help people who live in larger bodies. Well, first of all, always come in and talk with us. We want to learn from you. We want to hear from you. We're kind of different in that we don't always have very specific sort of like volunteer opportunities. It's like, I wish it was like going to the Humane Society, which I love to do, and then you're like, I'm going to walk the dogs today. And we don't always have those activities here, which is, I think, a little bit challenging. But ways that you can get involved, if you have an idea, particularly if you want to do something in the community, come and talk with us so that we can provide you with some advice. Perhaps we have some materials we can give you. If you want help with learning how to poster or design a poster in Canva, we can help with that. And also sharing information with us. We have this really cool online zine that's called Dear Pat, and it's where people can write about their experiences in the world with, being on the receiving end of sexist or anti-feminist or harmful behaviors. But we also have a site where you can talk about, if somebody did something really wonderful and cool that really, brought back your faith in humanity, you can put that in Dear Pat too. And we're hoping to do some sort of an exhibit with Dear Pat either this spring or next fall. And we have a lot of different things that you can come and help with. We always need help with postering. We do a ton of information that we try to get out to the community. And then the other thing is we actually would love to have some people for whom English is not their first language, if they would come in and maybe help us with a project that we're doing, trying to translate some of our gender violence material into the most common first spoken languages among our students here at St. Cloud State. If you are interested in doing one of those or helping us with that, we would love it if you would come in. We really believe that people have the right to access to information in the language that they're most comfortable with. Unfortunately, the only other language I speak is Latin, which is not a common language and is certainly not really spoken anywhere. You got to read about it in religious text, So if we have people who are interested and willing to help with that, we would love it if you would come and talk to us, and maybe we can do some recording of you talking about some of our information about gender violence, so your brothers and sisters who have that as their first language can also partake. That would be a real blessing for us.